Yeah. You always know what happens to what I did. So, yeah. I'll tell you the story. So, it was November 2nd, 2022, 2 years after Rohan discovered Monsters Inc. alternate opening. I was just walking outside until I found a footprint. I examined the footprint, and it turned out to be Bowser's footprint. Oh, that Bowser, I snarled, until the footprints were leading to the forest. I had to call Mario, but Mario was actually having a day off, and decided not to bother to save Princess Peach. I was like, whoa. And until I followed the forest, and it was my job to substitute Mario. And I walked into the forest until I realized that was the same forest that I met on the Halloween. And I just explored the forest until I decided to fly and see where Bowser is. So I flew and realized that the pond was here. I dived in, and they were surrounded by ducks. And until some bubbles came out of the pond. I was wondering what it is. Bubbles flashed even more. I took a closer look at it until a figure was underwater, and until it popped out, scaring me. And it bit one of the ducks, and blood splattered everywhere in his mouth. He used Thunder Fang, and blood splattered everywhere, and he swallowed the duck whole and came out of the water. This time he was shiny, and also some seaweed was on him and all that stuff. And I was frightened until I ran away until I bumped into Bowser, it changed. Bowser's gender changed into a female Bowser, and Bowser's voice was kind of high-pitched instead of his usual low-pitch. And I realized that it was Bowser's sister. And then I was surrounded by Tyranitar and Bowser. I couldn't know where to go, but I had to until Bowser said, "What are you doing?" And I said, What? And that did nothing. Why did you scare Tyranitar? But it was just misunderstanding. And he said, why did you push Tyranitar? Why did you scare Tyranitar? I was like, no, I didn't mean to do it. And I was like, Tyranitar. And then Bowser said, well, I want to see the close-up shot camera that I recorded. Until he showed me the footage, and it showed me grabbing my hand into the water until I was frightened by the Tyranitar. And I was like, whoa, okay, I'll tell you, it was me. Until Bowser said, I knew it was you. Now, give me it. I want to bite you. I was like, no. Tyranitar surrounded me, and I have no way to go. And it was like, and I had to do something. I ran into a far distance, and then fly super fast So, until they lost me. I had to plan up a way, but I was in a cave, so, yeah, and until I realized I had to plan. I was going to use Dragon Claw on both of them, and aka Breaking Swipe. I prepared I learned a new move. It was called Horror Claws, and I used Horror Claws. My attacking accuracy rose, and I went outside of the cave, finding the two people out there. Actually, they are reptiles, not people, but anyways, they were searching for me. I was ready to do this until I realized that's what I was doing. I tried to turn back, but my body kept moving like I did nothing at all. And I used Dragon Claw. I attempted to use Dragon Claw, but Bowser got a hold of me. He mounted on Tyranitar, and then Bowser was looking at him until he got birthed to a Larvitar, and he threatened until he ran across me, and I ran away, and he was chasing me far, far, far away until I was like, ah! Bowser was like, get back here, you stupid moron. And I was like, and I was out of breath, and I came to a dead end. Until once Bowser reached the closest, he put his claws against my throat. I started to choke until small drops of blood came out of them. I tried to reach for my arm, and then I realized that my arm was broken because I tripped earlier, and also I couldn't move until I Mach punched him in the face until he let go. Until he let go, and he was like, oh, I'm going to kill you. Until he was ready, until he still had his hand on my throat, and until he prepared his Dragon Claw. I couldn't do it. I kicked Bowser in my knees, pushing him backwards until I got a glimpse of him, until I finished this off with a bite in the neck and a Dragon Claw to the heart. Until it was kind of like the Discovery when the dinosaurs died, but except it was my version. And until Bowser screamed in agony, saying that, no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I was just trying to attract Peach. And I was like, no, it's all over now, Bowser. Until I bit even more harder, and my claw dig through the heart until Tyranitar passed on. Until Bowser passed on. Until what I saw left. I saw a glimpse of Tyranitar. He was drooling. His teeth turned sharp, and he had red eyes. He'd started to sing in a beautiful tone, but it turned distorted. He was singing like in the MP3, and like the MP3 Creepypasta that I watched earlier, and until he let out a loud piercing roar, until I covered my ears until they were bleeding, and until I fell down and I was blacking out, and my nose was bleeding as well, and until I used Roost, also known as Feather Rest in Japan, and I healed up 50% of my HP, and then I used until I got a hold of Tyranitar and punched him super hard in the stomach, almost causing him to faint. It did a lot of damage, just 49 HP, and I decided until it was my best shot, until I was charging up for my until I was charging up for my horn claws, and then I sharpened my claws until we had a claw fight, and until I punched the dragon claw back, and then until it was the final straw. I used the most powerful fighting type move of all. You know, it was called Counter, and it did so much damage that Tyranitar died. And I'll claim as the winner, but I was poisoned because Tyranitar bit me with his poisonous fangs, and I fainted. I woke up at the ambulance while hearing some Guns N' Roses and Metallica playing in the background of the ambulance on the radio, until I realized that the ambulance was empty, and I got out of the ambulance and flew home. So yeah, that was the end of the Creepypasta.